So today we're going to share with you 20 airplane and airport hacks to help you save time and money. After 2 years of full-time travel, we will cover everything from the best and the most up-to-date booking hack, baggage hack, check-in hack, and flight hacks. This is something that took us years to learn after making hundreds of mistakes. Make sure you watch till the end so your next flight can be the best flight that you've ever had.
Most of the time we found out that the airline check-in counter assistant, they don't normally weigh our personal bag. So the only thing they weigh is the carry-on luggage. So if your carry-on end up being overweight, you can take the heavy stuff and squeeze it into your personal backpack instead.
We'll be experiencing some turbulence. Should last more than 10-15.
I don't know about you, but you know that point in time where the plane starts doing one of these and the babies start crying and all the people start screaming? Yeah, that's like my worst nightmare. To cut down on terror of turbulence, just sit near the wings, because planes are designed to rock like seesaws in turbulence conditions. You'll experience less movement in the middle, you know, physics and stuff. Also, fly in the morning if you can, because the plane tends to get less turbulence during this time of the day. Sorry guys, this won't solve the baby crying, but it might make it better on you.
So once we have the flight from Taiwan to Kazakhstan, but there is no direct flight, so we have to do the connecting flight in China. And to make sure that we will be on time in catching the next flight, we asked the staff at the check-in counter to help move us from the seat way back up to the front, where it is closer to the door. So then we can be some of the first person to get off the plane, and that totally works. So if you have a short connecting flight or layover flight, make sure you don't forget to ask the person at the check-in counter to move or adjust your seat. In that case, you just have to show proof that you have the connecting flight or you have the layover, and you don't have to pay extra to move the seat. Especially from our experience, if you fly and have connecting flight in China. The process in China tend to take way longer than everywhere that we have been to.
Because we went to immigration, they sent us back to this transfer lounge sent us back to immigration sent us back to the transfer lounge, and that's been in the last 2.5 hours of our life, back and forth, trying to figure out. So bloating is a really common issue while flying, like so much that in the airplane industry, they've named it jet belly. It's caused when you're on a flight and drop in cabin pressure and the gases expand inside you. While fairly inevitable, you will get some amount of bloating, but there are ways you can cut down on the pain. Before boarding the plane, just try and avoid all carbonated drinks. If you have a soda at the airport, you might later experience gastric distress. Also, eat a meal that is really high in protein, low in salt, and has few carbohydrates. Sometimes if you eat too much before boarding the plane and it's the wrong type of food, it can cause you a stomach ache.
Even though a lot of people we know love the idea of being the last person on board to the plane, because you don't have to basically stand in line while boarding, and you could potentially be able to pick any empty seats at the end. However, what we have learned is that being the last person on board is not always a good idea.
We had to get on the plane first because last time we tried getting on last to see if we'd get upgraded. We didn't have any room for our luggage. So we decided to be the first ones on the plane this time to make sure we had enough room for our luggage.
Once we had to even put our luggage 10 rows behind our seat, and that becomes an issue when we have to get off the plane. So for us, we have come to the conclusion that being the first person or one of the first person on board is much better, because when it comes time for us to get off the plane, we don't have to worry about our luggage to the last step before we get off the plane. If nobody's sick,
I know, I'm over in the middle right now, just like waiting, praying that nobody else comes on this plane, because I'm just gonna sprawl out for 10 hours. Alright, so this is a new hack, and one that we've absolutely come to love. So this one is for booking flights. It's a company called AIRFARE.com, and it's basically a Netflix account for travel. So what we are is Jet Setter. We have chosen the Jet Setter at $100 a month, and you get 2 international flights. So instead of paying a large sum of money for your flight all at once, using AIRFARE is a little like saving money over a long period of time. And while you collect the points as time passes by, AIRFARE will also generate the best time so you can get a cheaper fare as well. So while we've been home for 3 months, we've been able to save up these points in order to get the flight, and generally it's still cheaper than putting it on a credit card and paying them crazy high interest rates. So we have a total savings of $34.76, which is great. So if you are a traveler and you're looking to take a flight, check the description box below for AIRFARE.com. You can sign up for a completely free profile, and even if you don't have the points and somebody that you know uses the site, they can transfer their points to you at no extra charge. You can transfer them to anybody that you want to as long as they create a free account. They've actually offered you a discount that you can find in the description box below. You want to know something really cool? Anything that's been in the lost and found for over 90 days is basically up for grabs. So if you need anything desperately, like a phone charger, just be honest and ask if there's one available for you to borrow. Chances are, not only will they let you borrow it, but they tend to give it to you if one's been unclaimed for over 90 days. So one thing that took us a little bit too long to learn is some cheap flights come with connection flights with less than 45 minutes to connect to them, which in most cases, some of them come with different terminals that is quite far from each other. So you have to take a bus or a train to transit within the airport. Moreover, some airports are just huge and they're bigger than you could ever expect.
Yeah. It's really huge.
Yeah, the New Delhi airport.
Halfway from where you drop off to at least like the immigration is not that far, but here is so huge, so far.
And it can be filled with different queue lines and long walks. So do yourself a favor and avoid the 30 to 40 minute connection flights. The rule of thumb for us is no matter how cheap the flight is, but if the connection is less than 1 hour and 30 minutes, we don't take that flight at all.
So let's talk a little bit about the rule of left. When you arrive at the immigration check-in or the security, make sure you turn left. The line tends to be shorter there because most people would likely go to the right, which is their dominant sign. We have tested this out multiple times and it does work.
Alright, the last thing you want to do is be putting your headphones in, sitting at the boarding gate, and missing your flight. This is one of the top reasons people miss their flights. The fact that we experience all the time is that the flight can change at any time. The gate for the flight can also change, the flight may get canceled. So whether there's the announcement on the loudspeaker or somebody just shouting, depending on the size of the airport you're in, you always want to make sure that you can hear what's going on, because if something does change, you definitely want to be up to date. Well, if you plan on making the flight. Actually, some airlines provide mobile applications that allow you to keep yourself up to date on boarding information as well. So make sure you have it downloaded before the day you fly.
The fact that you need to know about the airplane is that it's very dry and humid in the plane. So some of the drink to avoid on the plane, if you can, is coffee, some sort of the drink that contain caffeine, or even alcohol. Alcohol dehydrates you and make you feel much more exhausted and groggy when you arrive your destination. So for me, for example, because it's so dry on the plane, I always avoid wearing contact lens on the plane. So whether you wear contact lens or not, you will notice that your eyes and your skin will feel dry during the flight. Wear glasses instead of contacts and bring the small bottle of hand lotion or eye drop will help you stay moisturized.
So for easy access to your flight materials, just go to Google and type in my flight. It will show you all your upcoming flight details. This trick has saved us so many times while trying to access quick flight details. In this case, you don't have to go back to your email and dig through your email to try and find that one ticket that they're requesting you give information about. Yeah, these are both, this is Sri Lanka visas. I can log on. It's not a big deal. I'll just log on. Yeah, we're going for 30.
Okay, that's fine.
Sure. Thank you. Return ticket, no. Continuation ticket, passed us through. So, there you go. It worked out.
So at the luggage check-in counter, you can ask the staff to put the fragile tag on your luggage. Making your luggage as fragile not only means that your bag is more likely to be handled correctly, but it's also finds itself at the top of the pile in the storage compartment of the plane. The result at the end, you will also tend to get your bag first before anybody else.
다시 한번 확인해 주십시오. 휴대 전화를 포함한
On the plane itself, one of the dirtiest place is the tray in front of you and the seat belt buckle. Oh, seat belt buckle. So most of the time you can ask for sanitizer wipe on plane for free, or to be safe, if you fly with some budget airline, make sure that you pack the sanitizer wipe so then you can use that for yourself, because some airline they don't provide you the sanitizer wipe.
If you love legroom or sitting near the power outlets, yes, some planes even have USB ports. So you could also use something like Seat Guru to see all of your seat, airplane, and airline details. This app is usually used prior to booking your seat so that before you book, you can see which ones are the best seats. From there, you can also check if a seat map populates with a color-coded key that details 3 levels of seating: good, be aware, and just plain bad.
If you happen to feel like you're getting sick on the plane, do you know that you can also ask for some basic medicine stuff from the flight attendant? I used to have diarrhea and upset stomach on the plane. End up, the flight attendant even have the pills for that. They have the charcoal pill for your food poisoning. They have the basic painkiller stuff, and they also have the medicine to deal with your headache, to deal with your flu. So if you have this issue, make sure you ask from the flight attendant.
You'd think that the airport bathroom is really nasty, right? And like full of germs? No. Actually, a new study says that you find more nasty microbes when you're going through security. The most germ-landed places are those plastic bins where you drop your shoes in. You know, the time that they force you to take your belt off and your shoes and your sunglasses and like everything else you're wearing, where they put liquids in your shoes and all that. Those are full of germs. These trays are not routinely disinfected, and the researchers point this out. So bring your own hand sanitizer and gel. Better yet, as soon as you get through security, just run right to the bathroom and wash your hands with soap and water.
So next, here is the tips for you if you have long haul flight. Actually, sleeping on the planes will never be easy for us, but you know, you can also trick your brain into sleeping by carrying out your normal routine like you would do before your bedtime. For us, for example, changing into the comfier shirt, wash our face, brush our teeth before we go to bed. That way, we convince our mind to think that it's time to actually rest.
Alright, while you're waiting to take off or before you board the plane, make sure you sync up your watch and your cell phone and all them other crazy devices you got with your destination time zone, so you can fall into your destination's rhythm by getting your brain used to it early. That way, you can adjust your sleeping schedule on the plane accordingly. This is honestly one of the best hacks for us. Sometimes you may have to stay up 24 hours, but if you can set your sleeping schedule prior to landing in your destination, you're more likely to not experience that crazy jet lag and miss an entire day of your trip. Doing this tends to make you less confused when you land. So like when you get there, you're not all confused. Okay, it's 6 o'clock at night, but actually it's supposed to feel like 3 in the morning because at 3 in the morning where you took off. Just make sure you do this prior to boarding your flight.
The liquid limitation that you can bring on the plane is pretty strict in any airport. And that causes many people to think they have to buy water once they are through the security. which most of the time the water there tend to be twice or 3 times more expensive. You can bring the empty reusable bottle of water through the security and you can fill it up at one of many water fountains throughout the airport. You can also ask the flight attendant to actually refill the water in your bottle of water. You can also even pack your own pack of tea or your favorite coffee as well if you want. I do it all the time because on the plane or even at the airport, you know, one thing for free that you can ask is the hot water. So one last tip from us is for international flight. If you want to go to the new destination on the plane, normally the flight attendant will hand you the arrival card or the custom card, and in that case, always the information that is required on those cards are the address. So make sure that before you board on the plane, you have the information of your address ready so then you can fill it in easily. So those are the tips based on our experience of 2 years in total of traveling full time. If you have any extra tips that we didn't mention in the video, make sure that you share with us in the comments below. Also, if you want to get more travel advice with location specific, you can head over to our website at divertliving.com. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. We hope this one is helpful for you. We will see you in the next video, which we will cover travel essential that we could not travel without. So make sure that you subscribe and turn the bell notification on so you won't miss any video from us.